Hello, No Code Op here, and today I'm joined by Tony, who is the co-founder and CEO of Uizard. Tony, welcome to the Aha Moments demo show.
Thanks, Philip. Great to be here. Thanks for having
Yeah,
me.
awesome. Yeah, great to have you. So, for those of you that don't know, Uizard, actually written out Uizard. Did I spell that right? Yes.
Amazing.
Awesome. So Uizard um, is a design tool for non-designers, and I thought it'd be great to bring Tony on the show because a lot of what we talk about, internally is empowering folks to move super fast when they're non-technical, and so this is just another avenue to design things internally because just because it's internal doesn't mean it has to look like shit, right, Tony?
Spot on. I couldn't have said it better.
Cool. Tony, can you give us a bit of background on yourself, where the idea for Uizard came from? Yeah, just a little bit of background.
Yeah, of course. I have a computer science background. I'm a nerd at heart, software engineer for many years. And the idea came from by realizing that design is becoming so ubiquitous, amongst all kind of companies. Suddenly you have developers that want to put a few ideas together, but look like shit. You have a manager that want to put a few ideas together, but it look like shit. So it's like enabling all these people to just put the ideas faster and make them look good so they can communicate them better with their team and then move forward and iterate, essentially.
Amazing. And how long has Uizard been around for now?
That's a good question. Time flies. We've been around since 2017, actually.
Wow. Okay. Awesome. So, so what I'd love to do for the show is just walk through like the aha moment, right? So,
Yeah.
talk to me about like an ideal user in like the ideal moment, and walking us all the way up through like them having an aha moment in the product.
Sounds like a plan. Yeah, let's do that.
Great. Cool.
All right, let me go ahead, share my screen. Ta-ta-ta. It's going to be super chaotic because you can see yourself in
Oh,
there.
there we go.
All right, awesome.
Matrix.
So that's how
Cool.
the tool look like. So let's go
Great.
ahead and create a project. Let's say you want to create like a quick mobile mockup with your team. And so I'm a big fan of Android, so I'll get the Google
Ooh, no, it's okay. I
material
forgive
design
you.
system. What was that? Sorry.
It's okay. I forgive you for being an Android fan. It's okay.
And so, well, basically, I picked a template to start from because I'm a lazy engineer. But you can also start from scratch. Create screen from the tool, and everything is component based. So you don't play with pixel or vector. You basically build your prototype using component, button, and things like that. But one of the aha moment of the tool is the fact that we use computer vision to automate a little bit things. So let's say you just come from a design sprint with a team and you have, I don't know, sketch a few things on the whiteboard, or you sketch a few things on the back of a napkin at lunch, and then you can literally just drag and drop those wireframe or sketches or scribbles
Yeah.
into Uizard, and then we have some machine learning algorithm that would just take those images and transform them into a real design you can play with. So as you can see, in a few seconds, I went from that very rough sketch on the whiteboard to something I can actually go customize and then just tweak to my liking. So that's one pace where you can literally go from a sketch to something you can play with in a computer in
Man,
literally
I
a few seconds.
remember, Tony, I don't know if you remember this. This reminds me of, there was a tool a long time ago. I don't even think it exists anymore. If it does, it's barely around. But it was called Pentotype. And you would like draw, do you remember this? And like you would draw out things. And when you would click through them, it would allow you to click through it, but it was just showing you the drawings, right? It wasn't showing you
Absolutely.
actual wireframes. It's so cool.
Absolutely. So that tool will basically, if I remember correctly, you will be able to specify some click area on the pictures,
Yeah,
and then you
exactly.
will exactly. I remember that stuff.
This is like the next generation of that. This is so cool.
So that's one aha moment that our customer will experience, right? And then of course
Yep.
you can, as you said, make things interactive as well, like the tool you just described, and then essentially preview it in a few seconds. So that's one way you can use the tool. But because, as I said earlier, we are enabling people that can't design to make things look pretty. You also have like a theming engine where you can also like make things look pretty without having to be designer. So what I mean by this
Oh, I
is
love
you
that
can,
the color palettes are baked in. That's really cool.
so you can literally like press a button and then transform things into a different color palette. But more than that, you can also like extract a theme from any source of inspiration. So it could be like a URL of a website you like. It could be like a screenshot from an app you like. So for instance, I took a screenshot of Spotify, and then you can once again offload that image to our machine learning algorithm, and then it will try to extract the colors, extract the style, and apply it to your project. So even if you're not a designer, you can make things look good really quickly. Once again, so to share with your team and brainstorm ideas, essentially.
Now, Tony, let me ask you this: like, who are like the main types of roles Uizard now? Like, is it product managers? Is it like who is it?
Very good question. So it would be like the startup founder type. It would be a manager type.
Yep.
We have marketing teams as well, consultants. So we see a different palette of users, and of course we have a few, UX designers and UX professionals, because they will also be part of the folks that will also sketch on paper,
Yep.
Or want to put things together faster.
Yep. So now you're gonna switch the theme to the Spotify one, yeah?
Now I can switch
Love
it
it.
to Spotify one. I can, of course, like everything is component based once again. So I have a few components at my disposal that were extracted from that image, and I can just, very quickly get something that looked very different without having to redesign anything from scratch.
Freaking amazing.
You can also go wireframe mode again if you want to stay low fidelity, and then just switch any
Ah,
time
so you
during
can
your
switch
journey.
it back. That's cool too.
And yeah, that's essentially what Uizard is. I mean, again, like the tool is super easy to use, super quick. So I've already give you like a quick run through.
Yeah. What would you
that's
say, Tony, what would you say is like the difference between, someone who's already using Figma and they're looking at Uizard? What would you say the difference is? Do they work complementary? Does one replace the other? What's the relationship there?
That's a really good question. So actually, some of our users are calling us the Figma for non-designers, or the Figma that they can use in 5 minutes. So
So
essentially,
you're like the Canva, right, of this world.
the Canva of Figma, so to say.
Yeah, I love that.
And so some people use us alongside Figma. So sometimes they will actually do wireframe in Figma or FigJam, take a screenshot of those wireframe and then upload them in Uizard. So things like that, for example. I think I might have something made in Figma here. Yeah, so this is, for example, something that could have been done really quickly using the Figma wireframe pack. And
Yep.
then you can just, turn it into something interactive in Uizard really quickly. Again, if you're not a designer, if you don't know how to use Figma, or if you don't know how to sketch or all the design tools.
And what's the end result of what you get from? So I get that you can, bring in wireframes. You can start from scratch with a theme. You can bring it in from Figma, right? You can design them, make them interactive. But what does that result in? Does that just result in like a clickable prototype? Can you export React to somewhere? Like, what's the next step?
That's a good question. So the idea is really like a quick iteration. So once again, like in a few minutes, we've been able to go from nothing to something I can play with.
Yep.
And then of course you can export that to you can share this with your colleagues. You can embed it online if you want to just have it on a blog to showcase something, or in your internal dashboard. But the idea is really like, how can I quickly align with my team without having to spend 2 weeks of development or design into something that at the end was not fixing a real problem.
Got it. And then what is the front end like as like a non-technical person, right? Like, okay, so let's say the team is totally aligned. You're able to iterate really fast. What is the front end designer able to do with this? Does this like give them some type of like base to start with? Like, what does it do for the actual like front end developer?
That's a good question. So everything, as I said, is component based, and so if you go ahead and go in the theme, you literally have all the properties ready to use, right? So very soon you'll be able to get all that into code, but for now you can actually inspect things because everything is component based, right? So you can get the colors, you can get the font references, you can get everything.
Got it.
But once again, the idea is really like to help those folks move faster. So we have customers, for example, that would have already their design system or the design style guide in Uizard, so that the engineering team then know exactly what component to take and implement.
I love that.
In the real stuff.
Keeping things on brand at scale. So good.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I love that. Super cool. Well, Tony, this has been awesome. What's one feature that is that's like maybe one of your favorites, or something that is just like a surprise in the product that people really like that we haven't covered yet? Is there anything else that you want to kind of show off?
Well, you know what? I'm a big fan. Again, this is something that I like because I used to be a front-end engineer, and you think that everything you do is like is very special. But I love being able to extract theme from URL. So you literally just go ahead and say, like you mentioned Figma before,
Yep.
Figma.com, um, and then just fetch the theme, fetch like all the design
So
token
cool.
on their website. So again, like the design team, the design system you already have is your website.
Right.
So how can we help you get those design assets and use them in your project
And
right
so
away?
what does that do beyond fetch the colors and the color palettes?
Well, if anyone has ever written HTML and CSS, you
Yeah.
can't, you can build a button using div. You can build a button using the button attribute. You can use, so the algorithm will try to identify not just the color and the font, but also like the component of the web pages, and then again like apply to your
Look
project.
at that.
Uh,
I love that. It's like mood board 5.0. Skip the whole mood board. Just go right from web page to this. The last thing I'll say too is, one of the reasons I love this, Ray, is because in the world of no code, there's like two ends of the spectrum. Sometimes they cross over, sometimes they don't, right? But there's like how to drag and drop and like never have coded anything, and like that's one version of no code, right? And then there's the other side of no code, which is helping people who do know how to code move faster. And what I like about this is it kind of goes to both sides, right? It's both for like people who have never done design before because they can just like start and jump in, but it seems like there's a high amount of discoverability where someone who has designed things before, does have a ton of experience, can just move faster. So it's cool that you cover both ends.
Absolutely. Well, our focus is still on the non-designer, but you're absolutely right that if you are tech savvy, you used to prototype is definitely going to help you get faster from A to B. Of course, minus all the power that the more advanced tool can offer you. But if your goal is to quickly test ideas and share with your team and brainstorm,
Right.
I mean, sometimes you don't need the fancy complex tool for going from A to B, right?
Right. I don't need a Ferrari to go grocery shopping. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I love that analogy so much.
I mean, I could use one, but it'd be a waste. Cool. Well, Tony, this was incredible. Tell me how folks can get in touch with y'all for a demo or anything like that.
So Uizard is entirely free. We have a freemium where you can really build real project for free. So just go to uizard.io and then try it out whenever you want with the team.
Cool. Tony, this is incredible. Thanks so much, man.
Well, thanks for having me, and great to be here.
Cool. Good to have you.